Avowed is an upcoming role-playing game developed by Obsidian Entertainment. Set in the fantasy world of Eora, the same universe as the Pillars of Eternity series, the game takes place on the remote island known as the Living Lands. Players will investigate a mysterious plague called the Dream Scourge, which is corrupting the souls of the local inhabitants. The game features a flexible combat system, allowing players to wield swords, magic, and even firearms, with options for dual-wielding wands or combining melee weapons with spells.
Go, tame the chaos that plagues the Living Lands, so that those who remain standing can shape its future.
They both deceive you. There is more wonder in this world than eyes alone can see. You must open yourself to its mysteries. Tend to its purpose, no matter how wild. And become what the Living Lands truly needs. Its protector.
The Gothic 1 Remake is a modern reimagining of the classic 2001 RPG, developed by Alchemia Interactive and published by THQ Nordic. The remake stays true to the original's core, focusing on immersion, exploration, and a deep, interactive world. The developers have not only recreated the iconic locations and gameplay, but have also expanded on areas that were incomplete in the original game, such as the addition of a fully developed mine and more elaborate late-game chapters. The combat system has been modernized, retaining the challenging nature of the original while introducing new mechanics.
A living world, exploration, story, and combat. Like the original 2001 title, Gothic Remake is set on creating an immersive and realistic world. Enjoy a complex life simulation on a scale hardly ever seen before in a video game. During the day, the inhabitants of the colony carry out a variety of activities, while nature, rich in all its diversity, lives out its own rhythm. All this gives
Dune Awakening is an ambitious, open-world survival MMO set on the iconic desert planet of Arrakis. Developed by Funcom, the game blends exploration, combat, and crafting in a vast, dynamic world where players must navigate the harsh environment, survive dangerous creatures like sandworms, and vie for control of the precious spice. The game offers deep customization options, including character creation with detailed backstories, and allows players to influence the fate of Arrakis in a universe where key events have diverged from the original storyline.
Hunted by sandworms. Scorched by the unforgiving.
This is Dune Man Kifilari reminding you today.
Harco village throngs with people. Spice traders, guild bankers, smugglers, house envoys, and of
Orkendale, The Scarred Land is an upcoming open-world RPG developed by Unicore Game Studio. Set in a vast and intricate world, the game centers around the player's decisions, which will determine the fate of a continent torn apart by war between humans and orcs. Players will explore a richly detailed environment, engage in complex faction dynamics, and make critical choices that influence the course of the conflict. The game will also feature a variety of quests, enemies, and regions, with an emphasis on player freedom and exploration. Outer Worlds 2 is the highly anticipated sequel to Obsidian Entertainment's critically acclaimed science fiction RPG. The game was first announced in 2021 with a humorous trailer that poked fun at its early development stage. This sequel will move away from the Halcyon system and introduce players to a new star system with a completely new crew and story. While specific plot details remain scarce, the game is expected to maintain the first title's signature blend of dark humor, corporate satire, and player-driven narrative choices.
Seem cool and should bolster pre-sale numbers. That wah sound can mean only one thing. We must gaze over an epic shot of a world, and there should be lens flares. Now we see our hero, but only their silhouette, because the developers haven't finished the design or finished the story. or finished any gameplay that's actually ready.
Where Winds Meet is an upcoming open-world action RPG developed by Everstone Studio and published by NetEase. Set in a fantasy world inspired by ancient China during the tumultuous 5 Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms period, the game blends intense martial arts combat with exploration in a vast, beautifully rendered world. The game features wuxia-inspired combat, where players can perform acrobatic maneuvers, use a variety of weapons, and even employ mystical abilities like Tai Chi to turn enemies' attacks against them. Crimson Desert is an upcoming open-world action-adventure game developed by Pearl Abyss, the creators of Black Desert Online. The game is set in the war-torn medieval fantasy world of Pywell, where players will assume the role of a mercenary leader named Cliff. The game blends single-player narrative elements with multiplayer features, allowing players to experience both deep storytelling and social interaction. The combat system is a key focus, featuring dynamic and intense battles with a variety of weapons and magical abilities. Monster Hunter Wilds is the next big entry in Capcom's hugely popular Monster Hunter series. Set in a vast and dynamic world, the game will challenge players to hunt colossal creatures in environments that are more intricate and interactive than ever before. The game introduces new features such as an evolved combat system, cross-play support across platforms, and the ability to use NPC support hunters in single-player mode. The game also boasts a variety of new monsters, like the sand-dwelling Doshaguma and the electrifying Ray Dao, each with unique behaviors and ecosystems.
Give her a hand. All right, let's go. Now's our chance. We go all in. We could do a lot worse for an interim camp.
Once your business here is concluded, you should find shelter. The sands come alive this time of year, like a wild beast bristling with lightning.
From the look of it,
Now, Marvel's Wolverine is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Insomniac Games, the studio behind the acclaimed Marvel's Spider-Man series. This game is set to be a darker and more mature exploration of the Wolverine character, focusing on his brutal combat style and rich backstory. The game is a standalone title, although it's speculated to be set within the same universe as Insomniac's Spider-Man games. GreedFall 2: The Dying World is the upcoming sequel to the 2019 RPG GreedFall, developed by Spiders and published by Nacon. Set 3 years before the events of the first game, this prequel places players in the role of a native of Tir Freddy, who was forcibly removed from their homeland and taken to the continent of Gothic. This new setting is plagued by WR, the Malachor disease, and complex political intrigue among various factions. The game will allow players to navigate this world using diplomacy, combat, or stealth, and their choices will significantly impact the story. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach is the highly anticipated sequel to Hideo Kojima's 2019 hit Death Stranding. Developed by Kojima Productions, the game will once again feature Norman Reedus as Sam Porter Bridges, along with returning cast members like Lea Seydoux and Troy Baker. New additions to the cast include Elle Fanning and Shioli Kutsuna. The game continues to explore themes of human connection, isolation, and survival in a world where the lines between life and death are blurred.
These rooms over here belong into the network. Anyway, the DHV Magellan's here to back you up. As always, you'll be the one leading the way to expand the network.
What's your role in all this? You're the commander, huh?
That's right. These days I'm fragile in name only.
The Ark 2 is the highly anticipated sequel to the popular survival game Ark Survival Evolved, developed by Studio Wildcard. Set on a new planet, the game follows the story of Santiago, a character played by Vin Diesel, who was first introduced in the Ark Genesis Part 2 DLC. The story takes place after the destruction of the Genesis ship, where Santiago and his daughter must survive against both hostile dinosaurs and new threats from a race called the Aratai. The upcoming Fable game, often referred to as Fable 4, is a highly anticipated reboot of the beloved action RPG series. Developed by Playground Games, the studio behind the Forza Horizon series, this new iteration of Fable promises to bring back the charm, humor, and magic of the original games, while introducing modern graphics and gameplay mechanics. The game is set in the whimsical world of Albion, known for its fairy tale setting, moral choices, and quirky British humor.
I mean, sure, you get your mega fans,
You are like literally my favourite person.
your haters,
It's like a fan club, but we hate you.
your chancers, and the occasional giant toad, for some reason. But it's more than that. It's about the choices you make.
I'm a hero. I should do what I want.
We thought you could save her.
You know, it's your life and death stuff. That's what defines you.
Lost Soul Aside is an upcoming action RPG developed by Ultazero Games and inspired by titles like Final Fantasy XV and Devil May Cry. Initially a solo project by developer Yang Bing, the game has evolved into a major title under Sony's China Hero project. The game features fast-paced, stylish combat with real-time action mechanics. Players will experience intense battles against a variety of enemies, with gameplay showcasing fluid movements and intricate combos. The game has been in development for several years, gaining significant attention due to its impressive visuals and gameplay mechanics. Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2 is the highly anticipated sequel to the 2018 medieval RPG Kingdom Come: Deliverance, developed by Warhorse Studios. The game continues the story of Henry, a blacksmith's son, as he navigates the brutal and complex world of 15th century Bohemia. The sequel promises to build on the deep, historically accurate gameplay of the original, offering a rich, immersive experience that includes intense combat, intricate storylines, and detailed environments.
I always dreamt of leaving this place.
Congratulations, tonight. You finally become a man.
melee weapons. The Sinking City 2 is an upcoming survival horror game developed by Frogwares, set to dive deeper into Lovecraftian horror than its predecessor. This sequel is set in the cursed city of Arkham, Massachusetts during the 1920s. Instinction is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Hashbane Interactive. Dubbed a spiritual successor to the classic Dino Crysis series, Instinction promises a blend of survival horror with modern action elements. The game is set in a world where players must survive against various prehistoric creatures in stunningly detailed environments powered by Unreal Engine 5. The gameplay features a mix of combat, exploration, and puzzle solving as players navigate through diverse biomes ranging from dense forests to deep caves. Mafia: The Old Country is the latest installment in the Mafia series, taking the franchise back to its roots with a prequel set in the early 1900s in Sicily. Developed by Hangar 13, this game explores the origins of organized crime, immersing players in the brutal and unforgiving world of Sicilian gangs. The game emphasizes a deep linear narrative, focusing on the early days of the Mafia, where small criminal groups grow into a powerful world-shaping force. Unlike the open-world format of Mafia 3, this title is expected to offer a more focused, story-driven experience that captures the essence of classic mob movies. ExeKiller is an upcoming first-person action-adventure game set in a retro-futuristic, post-apocalyptic world, developed by Paradark Studio. The game places you in the role of Denzel Phoenix, a bounty hunter known as an ExeKiller, operating in a dystopian version of New York in 1998. The world has been devastated by a massive catastrophe known as the Great Fire Disaster, leaving only 30% of humanity alive and forcing the remnants to survive in a harsh, chaotic environment controlled by corporations.
Area contamination. Kill. This is for your own good.
Chrono Odyssey is an ambitious MMORPG developed by South Korean studio nPixel and published by Kakao Games. The game is set in the expansive world of Cetera, where players will engage in a timeless battle against the forces of the Void. Utilizing Unreal Engine 5, the game offers stunning visuals, a seamless open world, and a dynamic combat system that incorporates time manipulation. Players can choose from 6 unique classes: Swordsman, Ranger, Sorcerer, Paladin, Berserker, and Assassin, each offering distinct abilities and playstyles.
Project M is an upcoming game developed by NCSoft, a South Korean studio known for titles like Guild Wars and Blade and Soul. The game is being developed using Unreal Engine 5, which is evident in its stunningly realistic graphics and lifelike character animations. Project M is described as an interactive movie game where the player's choices will significantly impact the narrative and the outcome of the story.
Perceived world, if we could tamper with the arrangement of those particles. This very idea is what sparked Project M. The informational particles that shape Project M's world can transform reality based on your choices. And each choice you make will change your experience.
The Elder Scrolls 6 is one of the most anticipated RPGs, following the massive success of Skyrim. Announced back in 2018 with a brief teaser, the game has since remained largely under wraps. Bethesda has confirmed that the game is still in the early stages of development, primarily because the studio's focus was on completing Starfield, which was released in 2023.
Achieving what was once thought impossible, he gathered an army, overturned the Lightborn. Kind. However, the price for this was high, because where there are gaps of power, fights erupt. The death of the Lightborn had set something into motion. Like clockwork, having long stood still, its gears now once again slowed, began to turn. This is the story of someone who wanted to be free.
Black State is an upcoming third-person action-adventure game developed by Motion Blur Studio. The game features a blend of stealth and action mechanics, drawing comparisons to titles like Metal, Gear Solid, and Control. Set in a dystopian future, the game involves a mysterious group called the Architects who task the player with uncovering dark secrets hidden behind enigmatic doors. The game emphasizes a rich narrative with unexpected twists and complex gameplay dynamics. Gears of War. E-Day is the highly anticipated prequel to the iconic Gears of War series. Set 14 years before the original game, it delves into the harrowing events of Emergence Day, the moment when the Locust Horde first emerged from beneath the surface of the planet Sera, initiating a brutal conflict. Players will experience the early days of the war through the eyes of younger versions of beloved characters like Marcus Fenix and Dom Santiago. The next installment in the Mass Effect series, often referred to as Mass Effect 5, is currently in development by BioWare. The game is still in the early stages, with BioWare confirming that the project remains in pre-production. The development team includes several veterans from previous Mass Effect games, which has fans hopeful for a return to the series' roots. Crysis 4 is the highly anticipated next installment in the Crysis series, which has been officially confirmed by Crytek. The game is currently in the early stages of development, and while details remain limited, Crytek has teased that this will be a next-gen shooter designed to push the limits of current gaming technology. The game is expected to continue the series' tradition of combining cutting-edge graphics with open-ended, sandbox-style gameplay.
Welcome to the future, son. Welcome to the war.
Please remain calm. Immediate evacuation to the mainland is underway.
Just so you know, Prophet, you walk slow, you play nice.
Big Walk is an upcoming cooperative multiplayer adventure game developed by House, the same team behind Untitled Goose Game. The game is set in a large open world inspired by Australian bushland, where players can explore, solve puzzles, and complete challenges together. The emphasis is on teamwork and communication, with a variety of tools and toys to help players stay connected and overcome obstacles. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is an upcoming remake of the classic Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, originally released in 2004. Developed by Konami, this remake aims to modernize the original game with updated graphics and refined gameplay, while staying true to the original story and design. The remake will feature the original voice cast, including David Hayter as Naked Snake, and will offer both a legacy mode that replicates the original game's feel and a new mode with modernized controls. Star Wars Outlaws is an upcoming open-world adventure game set in the Star Wars universe, developed by Ubisoft's Massive Entertainment. The game is set between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, during a time when the Galactic Empire is tightening its grip on the galaxy. Players will step into the shoes of Kay Vess, a scoundrel looking to make a name for herself in the galaxy's underworld. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is the next installment in the iconic simulation series set to launch on November 19th, 2024. The game introduces a wide range of new aviation careers, allowing players to experience more than just flying. You can engage in activities such as aerial firefighting, search and rescue missions, cargo transport, air ambulance services, and even air racing. Plan 8 is an upcoming massively multiplayer online third-person shooter developed by Pearl Abyss, the studio behind Black Desert Online. The game is unique in that it combines elements of traditional shooters with the expansive, open-world exploration typical of MMOs. One of the standout features of Plan 8 is its exosuit mechanic, which allows players to equip various robotic exosuits that provide enhanced abilities such as superhuman strength, high jumps, and wall climbing. Beautiful Light is an upcoming first-person extraction shooter developed by Deep Worlds, ExeKiller. The game pits 6 squads of 3 operators against each other in a hostile environment where they must secure and extract valuable artifacts while contending with other players and player-controlled anomalies. The game emphasizes horror, immersion, and tactical gameplay, requiring players to make strategic decisions to survive and succeed.
We were standing before God.
Killing Floor 3 is the latest entry in the popular co-op action horror FPS series developed by Tripwire Interactive. Set in 2091, 70 years after the events of Killing Floor 2, the game pits players against the horrific bioengineered monstrosities known as Zeds, created by the megacorporation Horzine. Players join the rebel group Nightfall, the last line of defense against these creatures. inZOI is an upcoming life simulation game developed by Krafton, known for their work on PUBG and the Callisto Protocol. This game positions itself as a next-generation competitor to The Sims, offering a deeply customizable and immersive life simulation experience. In inZOI, players can control characters known as ZOIs and manage various aspects of their lives, from basic needs to more complex social interactions and career paths.